Widows protest flower price hike in Kano. Wow. So the widows in Kano are protesting the increase in price of flour, meaning that they can't bake and they can't cook. And it's not just only in Kano. This is the reason the bread has increased now. A bread that used to be 200 naira before is now over 1,000, getting close to 2,000 naira. A lot of things now have increased in a manner that is so unaffordable and unbearable, to tell you the truth. So this woman protesting in Kano is not peculiar to Kano. The price of flour in Nigeria has got something else, and that is why the bread that used to be the easiest reach for the common man to hold his bread is no longer affordable, no longer reachable. And if bread cannot be bought again, gari cannot be bought again, a just small paint rubber of gari is now over 2,000 naira. Something that used to be 200 to 50 naira, okay, now has gone over 2,000. So it means that hunger is coming. And moreover, the people are not getting the job. People are not getting business. So it's going to be a sad one, I'm telling you. But it's already a very sad one. Now, scores of women, including widows, took to the streets of Kano to protest the increase in the price of flour in the state. The protesters who sell local bread, also known as gurasa, while marching on the streets with placards on Friday, lamented that the soaring price had crippled their sources of livelihood. So the women who defied the harsh Hamatan appealed to the state government to come to their aid. The leader of the group, Fatima Awal, said many of the affected women were already indebted to flour suppliers due to their inability to afford the material. So majority of our members cannot afford to buy flour. What is the main source? Okay, which is the main source of raw material for producing gurasa? The economic situation in Nigeria has degenerated from bad to worse. Many of our members who struggle to produce are already indebted to numerous flour suppliers. We can no longer afford to pay the school fees of our children anymore, just as feeding is now a huge burden to us, which cannot be postponed, he said. It's a serious one. Awal therefore appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other relevant stakeholders to consider the plight of the women, especially the widows, and intervene by reducing the price of flour. I want to plead with major flour producers and marketers to look into our plight and subsidize the product to an affordable price, because we hope for the survival of the flour industry, she added. Now, wow, it's actually a very terrible situation. Common people are crying now. Now, these people that have come out to cry for flour, they are not the only people affected by flour anyway. So the thing is very bad. They are just that they are, these ones are the ones that are bold enough to come out to shout it out. Others are suffering in silence. Okay, bread is no longer purchasable, it's not buyable again. Bread is no longer affordable by a common man. Bread that used to be the easiest food, ready-made food, just buy a loaf of bread and buy a bottle of mineral, Coke or Fanta, and then you are done for that period. You can't buy it again. So if bread that used to be 200, 250 naira before is now close to 2,000 naira, how much more a bottle of mineral? Then how much is the person earning in a day? That is the question. So things are getting to a point where even to eat it will be a problem in Nigeria. To eat. And once you get to a point where people cannot eat anymore, then that revolution that the country is trying to avoid will start. Because all die and die. Hunger keep person and die. Police shoot person because they protest and die. Government use DSS or army arrest somebody because they protest all and die. So at the end of the day, rather than die in the house or watch your family die, you go and fight for yourself in the public. If you are dead there, you die in a brave manner. That is it. So it is an unfortunate situation that Nigeria is drifting into now, that it is not, nobody talking about school fees again. No. A lot of people are withdrawing their children from school. No work to do because businesses are closing down. No business. We're not even talking about infrastructure now. You say nobody talking about light, nobody talking about security, nobody talking about safety. It had degenerated to a point where it is food matter now. Nobody is talking about clothing. Nobody is talking about school fees or other social amenities. What people are talking about now is food. Food. Nigeria. Pity this country. I'm telling you the truth. Because now that it has gotten worse to a point of food, then it means that the gunpowder is about to detonate, it's about to ignite. Somebody is about to light it, and once it starts, man, I pity DSS because Nigeria will not be able to handle it. The way Tinubu is going, I just hope that this Nigeria will not scatter in Tinubu's time because all his economic decisions are bad, all his political decisions are bad, everything he's saying, all of them are, nothing is working. Right from day one, he took office, all his political announcements are all banza. They are the ones that put Nigeria in this mess, ranging or starting from removal of first subsidy to floating of the naira. And then to several other things that he's doing, body language that doesn't make sense, and all of that put together has put Nigeria where it is today. Very bad situation, I must tell you the truth. So now these women in Kano are protesting food shortage. Go on, talk about flour not being available or not being affordable. It means that it is food shortage because there won't be bread readily available for people to buy to eat. Okay, so this is food shortage now. Food is not being affected. And we're talking about food. What about gari? What about yam? Okay, what about beans? And what about other key food items that Nigerians eat? Because rice is big man's food at this time now. We're talking about at least being able to put gari in your mouth, not to talk of rice. So rice is now a big man's food, and nobody will go there. So the truth of the matter is that Tinubu should get ready for the revolution that is coming, because now that it degenerated from school fees, it degenerated from buying rice and beans to not being able to afford bread to eat. It means that hunger is getting worse, and once hunger gets worse, and a hungry man is an angry man. And when he starts his anger, whether he's right or wrong, he wouldn't matter to him until he's done. So Nigeria is treading on a very bad track. And Tinubu seems to be stubborn, he's not listening. And in the midst of all of this, he is traveling around the world enjoying his life, telling Nigerians with impunity that his visit to France is a private visit. Okay? And look at all the killings going on in Nigeria. If you go and trace the killings, you'll be surprised that it is hardship, it is hunger, it is all this evil that is making people to go into robbery, kidnapping, and banditry. Now banditry is no more for the Fulanis alone. It is for everyone who wants to survive, because that is where to make the money. You kidnap, keep certain key person, you get 100 million, 200 million. So you are richer than person that is looking for work to do. So if you look at it, the bandit and kidnapping industry has become so lucrative that even a lot of people want to go into it. That's the reason you continue to arrest them, and more people are going into it, because that's the way to get some money. So food is key now. People are not able to afford simple staple food like gari and beans and rice and bread. So thank you for listening. Let's have your comment over this protest by women in Kano State.